Today I want to cover batch traceability and recall. In this demo I'm going to show you how to use our powerful batch screen to show you that you have complete visibility of the history. Then we will do a mock recall using Dave, our AI, to determine and perform the actions. Dave's not just great at providing information, he can do stuff too by communicating directly with our web services. So let's get started. We navigate to the WMS. We then go to inventory and locations, and we can see the serial and batch management screen that we can open. Once in there, we find a complete list of on-hand batches in my warehouse. There are filter chips on the left and filter chips at the top that we can easily filter for what we want to see. For example, on the left hand side, if we want to see all quality, we can see a list of all batches which are either quarantined or under recall. We can also search by inventory. So we find our inventory code and then we find all the batches related to that. Once we're in there, we can then use the top filters to find what we want to do, what we want to see. For example, we can see batches which have expired. We can see batches that are within our horizon. Now our horizon is set to 10 days. This is the date where, when the date code reaches this date, we cannot sell it to customers because it will be rejected. We can also filter by the number of days that it has on hand as well. For example, 30 days. Now let's open one of the batches and see what's happened to it. So we're going to open GLP 007. We have a complete transaction history. We can see absolutely every movement to and from anywhere in eveXso from this. For example, we can see all transactions. We can then filter it by anything that was done by an adjustment, any movements that we'd made, anything that went in out to customers, and replenishment. Now, we could use the set recall and the set quarantine options here to do a recall, but let's imagine that the supplier has called us and told us that batch GLP 007 has been recalled. So let's open Dave. Dave can be accessed from the sidebar. We'll make him a bit bigger. Hi Dave, we have received a recall notice. So we're going to give him some instructions. Now this is in real time, so we're not cutting anything out of this. We'll just see that Dave is showing his thinkings, and he's going to go and have a look around, find the information that he needs, and provide us with the advice that we want. So as I mentioned before, Dave is able to actually perform actions, so he can only communicate with our web services, but he can, once he has an action, he can then perform that. So assuming that we've got an action to set the recall, Dave will be able to do that for us. Okay, so we now have some information. So he's given us an overview here of the item, what the expiry date is, what the status is now, and how much we have and where. Then he's given us a list of things to do, so he wants to mark it as recalled. Then we need to segregate the stock, check outbound consistence, document the recall, coordinate with the supplier, and finalize a recall. He wants to see if we want to flag it, so we'll say yes please. And now Dave should go off and perform the action to recall the batch. Yeah, so we'll guess please set recall. Okay, what's the recall reason? It's been so we'll tell him that it doesn't give us a good favourable bounce. It's been reported that when hitting the trees, the ball goes further into the trees. And not nicely onto the fairway. So this will set the recall reason as well. Now, we don't allow Dave to do anything without asking for us to do it. So everything that he does, we have to allow or deny, and then he will set that to recall. And now we can see that that batch is now in recall in eveXso, and now he's given us the next steps that we need to do. I'll say, can you draft letter to send to the customers who have purchased this, please. And then we can get a letter from Dave to send to the customers, which explains what we need to do, the reasons for it, and what we would do, and what they need to do. And he's telling us would we like to do that, but we'll stop there. So what we've seen today is that we've got a serial batch management screen where we can see everything very quickly, what has happened to the batch, where it's gone, isolate the customers that we've sent it to, and we can also use AI to help us to perform that recall.